Ladies and gentlemen, are you guys ready? Make some noise, come on. All right, let's welcome to the stage the president of the technology sector at NPD, Mr. Ian Hamilton.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's going to be a long, long week. Some of us are here from Monday to Friday, but it's going to be a short program. I need 20 minutes. 20 minutes. You will notice the bar is still open. Last year we talked about closing the bar, but the bar is open. Give me 20 minutes, and I promise to give you back the ability to hear what happened in 2017, to see what's going to happen in 2018, and to feel the power of NPD's analytic solutions, our analysts, and our data, and the power that we get from all of that. One more time, if you guys could try to keep it down in the back. We got 20 minutes of a program here. It's going to be a good time. Thank you. All right, let's level check on a couple things here. Level set. What are we going to be talking about? There's really three foundational data aspects to what we do at NPD. First and foremost, there's point-of-sale data provided by retailers on a weekly basis. It's the industry scoreboard, what's happening in tech in the United States. Number two, we have consumer data, primary research, a 50-ish year history in primary research in this country at NPD. And finally, we have Checkout, our receipt harvesting service that captures 3 million plus consumers' receipts every year. That trilogy of data, point of sale, consumer data, and receipt tracking with Checkout, is an incredible power that feeds our analytic solutions organization and our analysts in helping to guide you to make better decisions around your strategy, around your products, and around your future. So what can you expect tonight in the next, 19 minutes or so? You can expect to hear about 2017, what we saw, what happened, a hot off the press look at the holiday, literally data coming in the last day, last hours that our analysts are looking at. So what happened in the holiday period, as well as a sneak peek at our about to be released, essentially tonight, forecast. Last year, you might have been familiar with our Future of Technology forecast that covered the entire industry that we focus on in tech, 250 plus subcategories, and it looks 2 years out. So tonight, we're going to talk about 2018, but we also cover 2019. We're projecting that out as well. So 2017, the holiday, as well as 2018, what are key drivers for growth in 2018. So are you ready? All right. We've got 17 minutes and 51 seconds of your time left. So what happened in 2017? I said the word growth, and I meant it. We grew in 2017. You grew in 2017. Thank goodness. And you grew 0.8%. That might not sound like a lot. That might not sound like too much. But that's coming off the heels of several years of declines. Declines in the range of 2.5%. Billion plus dollars of declines. 2.5%, 3%, 2% the previous 3 years, easy. So a little bit of growth is a start. We forecasted 0.3% growth last year in our forecast. So we were real close, and I'm darn proud of our Analytic Solutions group and our analysts in forecasting this industry this year at a very, very detailed way and with a heck of a lot of quality. So I'm very proud of that. And so tonight, let's talk a little bit about what's going to happen in 2018 as well. But before we do that, I want to bring up a guy that most of you know. He's in your offices. He's many of your best friends. He's a shoulder to cry on and lean on. His name is Steve Baker, and he's an analyst at NPD, our lead analyst.
Hi, Ian.
Steve, you may know him from Baker's Dozen. You may know him from many of his blogs or being in your offices every week. He's on the road all the time. Steve, how many CESs have you been to? And what's the most memorable thing you have from all the CESs you've been to?
So probably something around 25. You don't really want to count things like that. But I will tell you that the most transformative thing I've ever seen was probably one of the very first ones, was HD television. And clearly, if you look out over the last 20 years, HD has been one of the most transformative technologies that we've all had the privilege to be able to access. But what I remember is a great big screen and a football game, Dallas and somebody, and what I could see was those blades of grass on the playing field and the fronds coming off the cheerleaders' pom-poms. And I'm going to tell you that my tube TV that I got in 1985 did not show me that kind of detail. And like I said, transformative, differentiating, something that I will always remember.
Like seeing fire for the first time.
Yes, absolutely.
2017, we just talked about growth. Steve, what's your take on 2017? Steve covers IT categories like PCs and others, as well as TVs. In your area, what happened in 2017?
You know, pretty good, actually. Most of you, if you've talked to me in the past, you know I'm cautious. Let's call it cautious.
Yeah.
Things were good. There's a momentum in the market right now that I think is very exciting. I feel good about where the businesses that, for the most part, that I look at are. I'm not here to tell you that all of a sudden the TV market's going to go up 25% or anything, but when we look at the overall business, when those great big categories are able to be stable, and we are in an environment, certainly on a revenue basis, where those categories are stable, that's a great thing for the rest of the business. What we are seeing is, and I hate to use the same word again, but a transformation in how people view tech. More and more, what we see is, you know, if you look at the popular press, people will say, tech prices always coming down, you know, wait till next year, you can always get something cheaper. We see the exact opposite today. We see people willing to buy up, willing to buy the best new technology, because so many of these categories are so important to their lives. They're a piece of what they do every single day, that it's worth investing in a great television or that really good PC or a new phone. I don't believe we've tested the limits yet as to what people will be willing to spend, and I think we've seen the beginnings of those green shoots in 2017.
Great. Now, speaking of 2017, one of the key topics that came up throughout the year was a channel shift from from brick and mortar to e-commerce. What's your take, and where's it going in 2018?
Yeah, yes, channels are shifting. We're not going to change that, but it's not such a bad thing. I mean, you can look at some of the numbers here. What do we see happening? We see retailers learning how to sell online and getting better and better at it and gaining share online. The numbers that we've tracked in our checkout business show that the retailers' online businesses are actually gaining share and growing over the first 9 months in 2017. And that's very exciting. And we can see it even in our data when we look at the best week during the holiday was Cyber Week, which grew about 6%. And you might say, well, that's all about online. But if you look at the kind of data that we collect on a POS basis, it can't just be online. There's clearly growth and momentum in the retailers, and I think you ignore that at your peril.
All right. So now looking at 2018, let's not ignore at our peril. The categories that you focus on.
Yep.
In working with our analytics solutions group, you've forecasted out PCs, TVs, and many other categories. What are we going to see? Let's start with PCs. What's going to happen?
So we've had a pretty good run. You know, conventional wisdom says the PC is dying. Sales numbers say, no, not happening. We see that in the numbers. We've seen drivers. There are lots and lots of positive things to look at on the PC market, especially when you look at the dollars. PC gaming is on fire at average selling prices, 3 or 4 times the overall marketplace. And not just in notebooks, in desktops as well. And clearly there's a whole ecosystem of things that are driven alongside the gaming market. We've seen great growth in Chromebooks on a unit basis and a dollar basis. But what's most impressive to me is that in every one of these categories, like I said earlier, it's not about selling more units. It's about customers being willing to spend more money on the products that they want to buy because they see a value there.
Great. And so what does that mean for TVs?
You know, we're seeing the same thing in TVs, right? Lots and lots of growth. Where is everybody looking? They're looking at $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 products. Clearly, we could see all those things happening today out in the press conferences. While again, we're not going to see a lot of unit growth, if any. We believe in 2018 we are going to see flat to slightly positive revenue growth. TV market has been a mess for the last 18 months with a lot of challenges. We can see it declined in revenue in 2017. But again, you know, I am really optimistic that we're going to see positive things happen.
Great. Well, thank you very much,
All right.
Steve. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Ian.
All right, so to recap, we're going to see a little bit of growth there from TVs, which is exciting after a bit of a tough year this year. We're also going to see PCs, opportunities in PCs, primarily around gaming. Chromebooks are going to be an opportunity as well. And Steve talked about channel shifting. And we do see some of the retailers doing pretty well and direct to consumer, picking up share in the e-commerce game. So it's going to be a very interesting year. So Steve covers some huge categories, massive volumes in our business. Ben Arnold, he covers some of the up-and-coming categories. So let's bring Ben Arnold out here to talk about some of the growth-oriented categories. Welcome, Ben. So Ben, you may know him from our Connected Intelligence platform. He works for Eddie Hold and does quite a bit of analysis around home automation and other areas. Covers home automation, a lot of growing categories, drones, and as well as imaging products as well. Ben, what happened in 2017 in your area?
Well, 2017 was really strong for emerging categories like home automation and audio growth categories like headphones and wireless speakers. But looking at 2018, I mean, we're here at CES, right? We're seeing artificial intelligence and virtual reality, autonomous vehicles, right? All of these growth areas that are totally emerging right now. So it's hard not to see all of that and expect the market to return some growth. And it's not just those products, right? It's sensors, it's microphones, it's speakers, all of the raw materials that go into building these emerging categories. There's opportunity really spread across. So, you know, CES is really a kind of an inspiring show to go around and see all the technology.
Great. All right. So we just got out of the holiday period. I'm pretty sure you were back there crunching numbers right now as we're getting the last final numbers from the holiday period. Ben, what happened in tech overall? What happened at the holiday period in the United States?
Well, the news is great. The market was flat.
Oh.
Flat's the new up. The TV market sales are a little bit soft this holiday. PC sales had some tough comps from the year prior with the big MacBook launch. So those big volume categories, we didn't see a lot of growth. But where we did see growth was in the emerging categories. So home automation grew 70% in that 5-week period. Headphones were up 30% during that time, reaching $1 billion in the 5-week period. So there were a lot of bright spots in the holiday in some of the emerging categories. I don't know if you got a Google Home Mini for Christmas, but apparently they sold one every second between the mid-October and the end of the holiday. So another product category that did really well.
Great, okay. And now, looking out at 2018, you cover all these hot categories. The industry is extremely dependent on Ben to come up with some fantastic news for us in a variety of these categories. Talk to me, what are we going to see in 2018? What are going to be the hot growing categories? How are they going to drive volume for the industry?
Well, a lot of the hot growing categories that we saw in 2017 will also be growing categories in 2018. Home automation, for instance, that we expect will grow 30% in 2018 on the strength of IP cameras and smart entry products. Certainly a growth sector in the market, a category that benefits substantially from voice and the proliferation of voice through the household. And so that certainly colors the outlook for home automation. One thing I'll tell you to keep in mind is connected intelligence, we measured ownership of home automation products at 20%. So there's a very big addressable market there that is still untapped, and part of that 30% is certainly going to go after that.
Interesting. So you mentioned voice, and when I think of home automation, I think a lot about smart speakers and the speaker category. So, and voice in general. What's going to happen with voice in 2018?
Well, I think in 2018 what we'll see is many more voice applications, and we've already seen a few announced here at CES. LG has one, Roku's announced one as well. So when I say the proliferation of voice, that extends to the number of applications. We'll also see it extend to more devices. So we've already seen a presence on TV. Appliances have been a really big story for voice. We'll expect to see that grow as well. And I think as it relates to speakers, we expect 43% growth. That comes out of our freshly minted forecasts. 43% growth in wireless speakers, very much driven by the voice assistants. So 2018 will definitely be a big year for voice and for digital assistants in general.
And digital assistants now are everywhere. And we're seeing announcements today, yesterday, and I'm sure tomorrow about digital assistants entering into new categories. One of those is headphones. Ben, what do you see for the headphone category? It has been the darling of our industry and really helped us in many ways. Every single person here has at least 2 headphones, I guarantee you, in their hotel room. What's going to happen next year? We're going to buy that 3rd headphone?
Hopefully so. Well, one of the things that we are seeing in headphones is that it's the next landing spot for voice. And if you look at products like the AirPods or the Braggy Dash or some of the other truly wireless products that have come out, voice is a cornerstone of the use case. And so that'll help to drive new headphone products going forward. Thinking about the stereo headphone market, our forecast says that sales will grow 26% this year, and that's on the strength of voice and of these new form factors, just as Bluetooth and wireless connectivity drove the previous era of headphone sales. The most current era will be driven by totally wireless and voice.
Great, Ben. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you for your outlook. We got 3 minutes and change. 3 minutes and change, folks. So if we recap what Ben just said, we got really, it's all working together. Voice, we've got headphones driving tremendous incremental growth. I think the #1 category in terms of growth and adding dollar volume in 2019 to our business. You have voice-controlled speakers, and you have home automation, the 2nd biggest category to drive revenue, new revenue, incremental revenue in 2018 as well. So some great opportunities for growth. So what does that mean for 2018? Our forecast for 2018, remember we came off of 0.8% this last year, -2.5, -3 in the last few years. In 2018, NPD is predicting 2.2% dollar growth, an incremental $1.9 billion to the industry. That's a heck of a lot of dollars. That's a lot of opportunity. But it's not there just for the taking, and don't leave it to luck. Please work with our teams. Challenge us. Challenge us tonight. Challenge us this week in our 150-plus meetings that we have with you guys to really help you grab your piece of that $1.9 billion in incremental revenue next year in what is the first real growth year or significant growth year in the tech industry in the last several years. Help us help you find that money and find that growth for your business. Thank you very much for your time tonight. I wish you the best of luck this week at CES 2018, and have a great time. Thank you.
All right.